In the 5 seconds before I left this world, I grabbed my little uncle, pulled him in for a kiss, and whispered in his ear with a hint of regret, "I'll tell you a secret, uncle. I like you too." With that, I closed my eyes, ready to depart. Pissing off this pervert one last time felt pretty damn good. It was his fault, after all, for always sabotaging my romance missions and lusting after me. But my uncle's voice went hoarse. He gripped the back of my neck and commanded, "System, close the transfer channel." And then I heard the system in my head, its voice dripping with sycophancy. "As you wish, main god." Chapter 1, I was standing in front of the enormous bathroom mirror, scrubbing my pale skin until it was pink, my head bowed as I smirked in triumph. The steam was thick, and warm water ran over my chin and collarbones, sliding down my lean abs and disappearing below my waist. Behind the mirror, the gaze of the person watching me grew dark. My little uncle was a pervert. As expected, he was on the other side of that one-way mirror right now, coveting me. Perhaps not just coveting. He might have been doing something far more indecent. "Host, are you doing this on purpose?" "Of course," I said, running a hand through my wet hair. I leaned in close to the mirror, my breath fogging the glass. "Oh my God, he's kissing you from the other side of the mirror," the system shrieked in my mind. "Heh," I chuckled and with my free hand dialed his number. "Uncle, could you bring me a bath towel?" "All right." His voice was deep and husky, making my ears tingle. The system was in awe of my audacity. "You're still provoking him. Aren't you afraid for your ass?" My eyes paused for a moment and I laughed softly. "He won't. My uncle is a perfect gentleman." Once when I was drunk, I'd thrown myself at him and he hadn't reacted at all. The door opened. I glanced at a certain conspicuous area on his impeccably tailored suit and smirked inwardly at the system. Let him suffer. The system, clearly terrified of him, retreated into the depths of my mind, silently lighting a candle for me. Chapter 2, I had transmigrated into a book as the villainous side character who falls in love with the male lead at first sight. I was supposed to throw myself at him, willing to be his doormat, only to end up trying to run over his love interest out of jealousy, getting myself killed in the process. I had this kind of plot down pat. But it had been 5 years, and the progress bar hadn't budged an inch, all because of my good uncle. He always interfered right when I was supposed to be winning over the male lead, Sean Gu. Now Sean didn't even dare to order me around. How was I supposed to advance the plot? After my uncle left, the system reappeared as a little ball of light. "Host, if you keep seducing him like this, aren't you afraid he'll lose control one day and do something to you?" "He won't," I said, sprawling on the huge bed and eating the strawberries he'd brought me. "My grandfather saved his life. Even if I were lying naked beside him, he wouldn't touch me." I sighed to myself, what a waste of that body and that face. The system went quiet, not telling me what I couldn't know. That late at night, while I slept, my little uncle would lean over and kiss me greedily. The next morning, I was woken by my phone. While washing up, I rubbed a red mark on my neck and asked the system, puzzled, "Is this an allergic reaction or a mosquito bite?" The system, forced to cover its eyes again, trembled and didn't dare to speak. I scratched the spot absent-mindedly. My phone pinged. A message from Sean Gu popped up. "Leo, where are you? Come pick me up." Showtime. I quickly changed into a flashy outfit, spritzed on some cologne, and replied with a sweet, obedient voice message. "Okay, Sean, I'm on my way. Aaron's hungry. Pick up an order of wontons for him." I checked the time. 2 in the morning. These main characters really knew how to live. Chapter 3, my role as the cannon fodder villain was to push the plot forward, help the main couple's relationship blossom, and constantly court death by clinging to Sean Gu, serving as the perfect contrast to the cold and aloof love interest, Aaron He. Get takeout wontons in his dreams. I went straight to the kitchen, fished out a bag of wontons that had been frozen for a month, and boiled them until they were a mushy mess. Then I poured in a ton of chili oil. "Aaron, he can't eat spicy food. Are you trying to kill him?" The system said in my ear. "Even if I bought fresh ones, he wouldn't eat them. Sean is just using me to provoke him." In the original story, I was always on call. Aaron was supposed to get angry, knock the wontons over, and storm off. Sean Gu was the male lead, and Aaron He was his love interest. Resigned to my fate, I packed up the food to serve these two masters. "I'll complete the mission properly, but you have to keep your promise to me." My memories were fragmented. The system had promised to help me recover them once the mission was complete. The system stammered, "Right, good enough for me." I turned around and came face to face with Julian Pei. He was standing right behind me, wrapped in a bathrobe, his cold gaze fixed on my neck. "Where are you going so late?" A chill ran down my spine. The system instantly zipped away to hide in a corner. "He's just the villain of this world. Does it have to be so pathetic?" I have things to do, it's none of your business. The original character was never polite to his uncle. Since he was always hindering my mission, I couldn't be bothered with him either. I walked past him, wontons in hand. Naturally, I didn't see the little ball of light kneeling before him, kowtowing frantically. Main God, please calm down. If he doesn't complete the mission, this small world will cease to function. Liu Chen's soul will truly dissipate. Chapter 4. I pushed open the door to the private room and saw Sean Goose sitting at the head of the table. The others looked at me ready for a show and shot subtle glances at Aaron He. I slammed the wontons on the table and sidled up to Sean, cooing, "Sean, how are you? Did you drink too much? Are you feeling sick?" Sean ignored me, pushing the container of wontons toward Aaron. Aaron opened it and stared, stunned, at the mushy mess floating in a layer of red chili oil. "What is this?" Sean asked, frowning. I immediately activated my green tea bitch mode, my voice full of grievance. All the wonton shops were closed. I was worried Aaron would be hungry, so I made a bowl myself. I didn't expect it to get so shaken up on the way here. "You made this?" Aaron asked. Sean shot him a triumphant look. I nodded obediently. He picked up his chopsticks and eagerly started eating. The spice made him cough relentlessly, the tips of his ears and the corners of his eyes turning red. Wait, why was he eating it? Wasn't he supposed to get jealous of me, the cannon fodder, storm off in a huff, and then have Sean chase after him and try to win him back? Sean was also stunned for a moment. He snatched the bowl and slammed it back on the table, splashing soup everywhere. "Stop eating!" Aaron couldn't stop coughing, the spiciness bringing a flush to his handsome, icy face. He looked so striking that I couldn't help but hand him a glass of water. He grabbed my hand abruptly, drinking the water while still holding on to me. Sean stood up, exasperated, and threw out a harsh line before leaving. "Aaron He, you better think carefully about what I said." With that, he was gone. Sean Gu, as the male lied, was incredibly arrogant. He believed the world revolved around him. He had me, his devoted follower, wrapped around his finger, to be summoned and dismissed at will. And his pristine love interest, he believed, should naturally fall into his arms with a snap of his fingers. Looking at the red rose petals scattered all over the floor, I pieced together the scene. Sean must have confessed to Aaron, but Aaron refused him. Annoyed, Sean had called me over to make Aaron jealous and pressure him into submission, while also worrying he might be hungry and ordering wontons for him. According to the plot, Aaron should have gotten jealous, knocked the food over, and left in a huff, kicking off Sean's groveling pursuit. But Aaron, defying Sean, had instead pissed Sean off and made him leave. His fair skin was flushed from coughing, but his voice was ice cold. "Everyone else, get out!" The spectators scurried away. His grip on my hand was painfully tight. I tried to pull away, and he slowly turned his gaze to me. The moment his eyes landed on my neck, his expression turned dark. I launched into my performance. "I love Sean, I won't let you have him. So what if he confessed to you today? He still can't live without me, I'm warning you. Stay away from him, or I don't know what I might do." I spouted nonsense lines. But he shoved me down onto the sofa, pinning my wrists with one hand and clamping my chin with the other. His eyes were vicious, his voice chilling. "You love Sean, he was with me all day. So tell me, who left those fresh kiss marks on your neck? Liu Chen, are you that desperate for a man? What the hell, kiss marks?" Aaron squeezed my neck hard, the pain making my whole body tense up. I grabbed his hand. You're hurting me." The pain made me break out in a sweat. How was this love interest so strong? The door was kicked open with a bang. Aaron was thrown off me. I gasped for air and met Julian Pei's deep, dark gaze, my heart clenching involuntarily. "Leo, get up!" Aaron stared at him coldly, then gave me a look filled with unspoken words before storming out and slamming the door. I sat up, straightening my wrinkled clothes. When my collar brushed against my neck, I hissed in pain. Julian's expression flickered with panic. He lifted my chin. "Let me see." Where the supposed kiss marks had been, there was now a dark, ugly bruise from being squeezed. A frigid aura radiated from Julian. In my mind, the system began to tremble again. Chapter 5, I don't know how I got home. I must have been too exhausted because I fell asleep in Julian's arms. When I woke up, it was after 10. Besides my sore neck, my lips hurt too. As I was washing up, I leaned into the mirror. Not only were my lips swollen, but there was a small cut on them. My already red lips were now even redder. Getting up in the middle of the night to do missions was clearly a bad idea. I was completely stressed out. As I fretted, I hopped in the shower, completely forgetting the bathroom had a one-way mirror. I scrubbed my back haphazardly, oblivious to the fact that from my nape down to the back of my thighs, my skin was covered in kiss marks. Aaron, he was a psycho. Not only did he choke me, but he was blind. What kiss marks. There were obviously mosquito bites. He and Sean Gu needed to get together and leave me alone. Speaking of them, their relationship should be reaching a fever pitch by now. Sean liked Aaron but couldn't bring himself to cut ties with me. He wanted to be with Aaron while still stringing me along, leading to a dramatic chase where he finally realized his true feelings when I went crazy and tried to run Aaron over. I would die in the car crash, and they would get their happy ending. After getting dressed to go out, I saw a gold embossed invitation on the table. It was for Aaron He's birthday party. This was a major scene in Sean's pursuit of his love interest, and of course, I, the villain, had to be there. I snatched the invitation and slipped out of the house. Chapter 6. Aaron He was a member of the new elite, and with the backing of Sean Gu, a top-tier heir, his birthday party was a grand affair. As soon as I walked in, I saw the two of them standing together, one in black, one in white, looking like a perfect match. Mr. Gu and Mr. He must be close to announcing some good news, right? Someone commented. In this world, same-sex marriage was legal, so such unions were common. I walked over and stood right beside Sean. Sean's body tensed. He frowned at me. What are you doing here? Aaron's eyes reddened and his hands clenched into fists. Sean pulled me aside. You should go. Aaron will be upset if he sees you. I quickly grabbed his hand. Sean, I missed you so much. Please let me stay. I promise I won't do anything. I just want to watch you from afar. Perhaps my expression was pitiful enough because Sean silently agreed. I wouldn't do anything, as if I was here to drug Sean. In the original plot, I was supposed to hand Sean a drugged drink, help him to a private room, and then slip in myself, pretending to be drunk. However, my villainous plan was never meant to succeed. Aaron would also feel unwell from drinking, and Sean, fighting off his own intoxication, would go to take care of him. The two of them would end up sleeping together. I got the necessary item from the system, secretly drugged a glass of wine, and was about to take it to Sean when Aaron walked straight into me. I held the glass high, terrified of spilling it. I stumbled, and my white suit was instantly stained with wine. Aaron quickly wrapped an arm around my waist. I'm sorry, Leo. Come with me, I'll get you a change of clothes. Wait, I need to give this drink to Sean. Aaron's eyes darkened. He gestured to a nearby waiter carrying a tray. Give it to him. All right, I said, making sure to add. Make sure you give it to Sean. Watching the waiter hand the glass to Sean, I followed Aaron, relieved. I sat on the sofa, tugging at my collar. He said he was getting me clothes, so why wasn't he back yet? And why was it so hot? My head started to spin. Host, what's wrong with you? The little ball of light danced in front of my eyes, making me dizzier. I grabbed it. I don't know. Am I drunk? You've been drugged. It's over. I'm going to die. The system wailed. Drugged. I'd only had one glass of wine. Could that have been the one? My head grew foggier, and my breathing became rapid and hot. I panted, feeling an itch all over my body. Even the soft fabric of the sofa felt intensely stimulating against my skin. I couldn't suppress the groans escaping my lips. I gripped the sofa, my knuckles white, my body trembling. The door was suddenly thrown open. Aaron walked towards me. Through my blurry vision, I saw the corner of his red lips curl into a chilling smile. I was scared. You, stay away, but the words came out as a weak, breathy plea. He ignored me, pushing me down onto the sofa. He gripped my neck, and I began to struggle violently. In the scuffle, the scattered red marks on the back of my neck were exposed. Aaron's eyes instantly turned bloodshot. Who did this? Was it Julian Pei? What did you two do last night? I didn't know what he was talking about. I just felt hot, as if a fireball had been thrown into my head, burning away all my reason. My struggles were pathetically weak, and I was covered in a layer of sweat. With a ripping sound, I felt a sudden coolness on my shoulder. The torn fabric hung from my neck. I gathered all my strength and threw a punch at Aaron. Aaron, get off me. Leo, Sean can have you. Julian Pei can have you, so why can't I? Aaron screamed, seemingly having lost his mind. He didn't stop, his hands roughly groping me. When he realized I was unusually energized, he started trying to pull off my pants. The door was kicked open. A gust of cold air rushed in, clearing my head slightly. I heard Sean's furious and desperate shout, Aaron, what are you doing? The weight on me vanished. Trembling, I tearfully tried to cover myself, but the more I tried, the more I exposed. My pale skin was covered in dark bruises from being manhandled. Sean was livid. His eyes, fixed on Aaron, looked like they could shoot fire. Aaron, what did you do? Aaron laughed maniacally, his red lips looking even more demonic. I drugged him, of course. Sean froze, then punched Aaron square in the face. Why would you do that? Tell me. Aaron took the punch without flinching. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, spat out a mouthful of blood, and glared at Sean with vicious eyes. Why? Because I like him, of course. Sean, you don't deserve him. If you don't want him, then give him to me, Aaron shouted, then lunged forward, swinging a punch at Sean. I shook my head. Through my blurry vision, I saw the two of them wrestling, trading punch after punch. They fought like mortal enemies. Who would have thought that just moments ago, someone had called them a perfect match? Host, hang in there, you can't pass out here, the system yelled frantically in my head, then started sobbing. Why have both of these lunatics fallen for you? I was so miserable I was about to cry. How should I know? Wasn't this its responsibility? I tried to sit up but collapsed weakly. A fine sweat beaded on my forehead, and my heart pounded like a drum against my ears. Through my hazy vision, a figure stumbled towards me. Sean knelt in front of me, draping his blood-stained jacket over my body. His voice trembled with a sob. I'm sorry, Leo. It's all my fault for not realizing my own feelings. I let you get hurt. You're in a lot of pain, aren't you? Let me help you, okay? He started to lift me. I curled into a ball, gathering my strength to kick him, but a loud bang echoed through the room. Sean was thrown heavily to the ground. Julian Pay stood over me, his face a dark mask, a chilling aura radiating from him. He tossed Sean's jacket aside and wrapped me in his own trench coat, lifting me into his arms. I rubbed my cheek against his neck. He felt so cool, so comfortable. My burning lips pressed against his jaw, my breath like fire, threatening to set him ablaze. Chapter 7. I woke from a nightmare, drenched in sweat and my heart pounding, but the details of the dream were a hazy, illogical mess. My whole body was sore, and even my head ached. System, did Sean drink that wine last night? He did. So did they sleep together? They did. In my fuzzy memory, Sean and Aaron had been rolling around on the floor, their movements large and intense. Tusk. Those main characters have no shame, and I was right there on the sofa, passed out. No wonder the original character went crazy and tried to run Aaron over. They did that right in front of him. Any villain would lose it. You're right, the system quickly agreed. But why do I remember Julian being there too? The system glanced at the kiss marks covering my neck. No, I don't think so. You must have been mistaken. I guess so. I was drunk. My phone rang. It was Sean. Are you okay? Checking in on the original character after the fact. No wonder he went insane. I said pitifully, Sean, you don't like Aaron, do you? No, I don't. I've realized it's you I love. Okay, Sean, wait for me. I hung up. I exchanged a look with the system. The grand finale was here. After this, my part would be over. I wanted to get up right then and go run over Aaron, but my body felt completely drained. I silently cursed whatever cheap booze I'd had yesterday. Julian came in with a tray of lunch. The system vanished in a flash. I frowned at him. The more I looked, the more I felt like I'd dreamed about him last night. Julian was strikingly handsome in a cold, ethereal way, as if he didn't belong to this world. His eyes were as calm and deep as an abyss, and his lips were an almost demonic red. He looked less like a man and more like a celestial being. He took a spoonful of soup, blew on it to cool it, and brought it to my lips. I commented to the system in my head, what a feast for the eyes. If only he was the one I had to win over. The system cowered in a corner, curled into a tiny ball. I mocked it, pathetic. I didn't understand what was so scary about a villain. After Leo Chen's death, Julian did torture the main couple to the brink of despair to avenge him, but they quickly recovered, turned the tables on him, and walked off into their perfect happy ending. Chapter 8. As I was carefully fastening a necklace in front of the mirror, a mocking text came from one of Aaron's sycophants. The necklace was a gift from Julian, a green jeweled pendant that I loved. Even if you drug yourself, Sean won't give you a second look. Let me tell you something. Aaron and Sean are at the Goo Corporation headquarters right now discussing their engagement. You should just give up, I scoffed, put on my most expensive watch, and sent a voice message back. What? Did Aaron he save your pathetic life, or something? They won't get married. After spitting out my furious threat, I raced to the garage. A few minutes later, a car sped out of the Chen family estate. The feeling of the wind whipping past as I floored it sent adrenaline coursing through me, making my scalp tingle. I reminded the system, get ready with the pain immunity. Aaron and Sean were standing in front of the Goo Corporation building. They were far apart, and their faces didn't look like they'd just been discussing an engagement. I slammed the accelerator, aiming straight for Aaron. Sean screamed, and through the car window I could vaguely hear him yelling not to be impulsive. My phone was ringing non-stop. I gritted my teeth and floored it. System. Suddenly, Sean ran towards Aaron, shoving him out of the way. I swerved hard to avoid hitting Sean, and the screech of tires filled the air. My world spun. The seatbelt dug into me so hard I could barely breathe. The windshield shattered before my eyes, and the car rolled violently. I clung to the steering wheel as the car flipped over several times before landing on its side in the middle of the road, smoke already billowing from it. I slumped weakly over the steering wheel, blood dripping from my forehead. The front of the car was crushed, and I was pinned between the airbag and the deformed seat, unable to move. My body felt like it had been torn apart. It didn't hurt, but even breathing was a struggle. My life was fading fast. The system sent a success notification in my mind. Sean and Aaron ran over like madmen, pounding on the windows, trying to wrench the door open. But the car was too badly damaged. No matter how hard they tried, it wouldn't budge. I struggled to turn my head. For some reason, they were both crying, their mouths open, shouting something. It sounded like, "Don't die. I'd lost too much blood." My hearing was fading. The acrid smell of burning filled the car. Suddenly, with a whoosh, the car caught fire. Thick smoke poured from the engine. Sean and Aaron's eyes were wide with terror as they slammed their fists against the door. The metal of the door grew hotter and hotter, too hot to touch. Julian got out of his car and ran towards us. He kicked Sean and Aaron away, one for each, and grabbed the door handle. Inside, Leo Chen was about to be consumed by the flames. His eyes were closed, blood trickling from his forehead down his neck and into his collar, his face deathly pale. Julian's heart seized with a sudden, sharp pain. His grip on the door tightened, his cold composure shattered by raw panic. "Leo, wake up!" I forced my eyes open. The first thing I saw was Julian's bloodshot eyes, inches from my face. I forgot to say goodbye to him. Julian slammed his fist against the door again and again, each blow harder than the last. Finally, he ripped the door open. For a moment, the searing heat inside the car seemed to recede. He reached for me, his voice incredibly gentle. "Leo, don't be afraid." His hand was red and covered in tiny blisters. The door had been so hot it had burned his skin raw. I felt the world go quiet. Host mission completion, 100, transfer channel now opening. Countdown initiated, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know what possessed me, but in the last 5 seconds before I left this world, I grabbed Julian's collar with my blood-soaked hand, tilted my head up, and pressed my lips to his. The taste of iron filled my mouth. I leaned close to his ear, my voice both wicked and regretful. "I'll tell you a secret, Uncle. I like you too." With that, I closed my eyes, ready to depart. Messing with this pervert one last time felt pretty damn good. It was his fault, after all, for always sabotaging my romance missions and lusting after me. Julian's expression changed. His voice went hoarse as he gripped the back of my neck and deepened the kiss. Then he commanded, "System, close the transfer channel." And then I heard the system in my head, its voice dripping with sycophancy. "As you wish, main god." Chapter 9. My soul, which had already begun to feel ethereal, slammed back into my body. Julian held me, and I could hear the faint cracking of my bones as they repaired themselves. I stared at him in shock. He looked down at me and smiled, a smile that was both possessive and insane. "Leo, I'm so glad you didn't fall for anyone else. Otherwise, I don't know what I might have done." Aaron and Sean, covered in dirt, rushed towards us, their voices choked with tears. "Leo, are you okay? Quick, take him to my family's hospital." Julian shot them a cold glance. An overwhelming pressure descended upon them, and both Sean and Aaron fell to their knees with a thud. Aaron grabbed Julian's pant leg, his heart aching, his voice trembling with despair. "Where are you taking him?" "He needs to go to a hospital." Julian kicked him again. Through my blurry vision, I saw Aaron spit out a mouthful of blood. When I opened my eyes again, I was in my own villa, with Julian sitting by my bed, watching me. The little ball of light hovered in front of my face. I slowly sat up, stunned speechless by what I saw. Julian's room was filled with portraits of me. In every style of dress imaginable, but with one thing in common: I was naked. There were even explicit paintings, with Julian as the other subject. Directly across from the bed was the largest painting of all, a piece of erotic art. The background was pitch black, blood flowed like rivers, and we were making love in the depths of hell. Julian wasn't pretending anymore. The moment I was conscious, he lifted my chin and kissed me. During my recuperation at the villa, the thing I regretted most was what I had said that day. Here, not only was I forbidden from using my phone, I wasn't even allowed to wear pants. I tried to negotiate with him. "I want to go out." Julian, feeding me a strawberry with his uninjured hand, heard me, and his face instantly darkened. "Are you going to find Sean Gu? Do you like him?" "Leo, that was just a mission. You don't need to take it to heart." The little ball of light, holding the strawberry plate, quickly chimed in obsequiously. He doesn't like Sean Gu. His affection level is 0, rest assured. Main God, he likes you. I'm right here. Why do you need to go out? Julian asked, looking at me with genuine confusion. After being this close to him, I realized Julian wasn't a normal person. He didn't work, didn't use a phone, had no other activities. The only thing he did every day was watch me and feed me. It was suffocating and deeply unsettling. Chapter 10. No one could last in an environment like this. When the housekeeper came to deliver a meal, I made an excuse to send Julian away and broke down in front of her, crying desperately. My performance was so convincing that she, a long-time employee of the Chen family, truly believed I was being held captive by Julian. She secretly slipped me a phone. Late that night, after Julian had fallen into a deep sleep, I secretly sent a text to Sean, begging for help. The next morning, there was a loud knock on the villa's door. Sean had brought the police. As Julian was being led away, his gaze was glacial. I hid behind Sean, not daring to look at him. Once Julian was in the police car, Sean grabbed me, looking me over frantically. I knew that bastard Pei was up to no good, he said, full of hatred. Then he pulled me into a hug. Leo, I'm so glad you're okay. I've realized I don't like Aaron. I love you, Leo. Let's get married. My heart skipped a beat. I gently pushed him away, my voice weak. Sean, so much has happened recently. I can't think straight. Can we slow down? Okay, tell me when you've figured things out. I'll wait for you forever. But before I could even find a place to rest, I was knocked unconscious from behind. When I came to, my hands and feet were tied, and my head was throbbing. I could faintly hear Aaron's voice. I told you to bring him here, not knock him out if he's hurt. I'll skin you alive. I slowly opened my eyes. The first thing I saw was Sean, his face covered in blood, lying next to me. When Aaron saw I was awake, his eyes lit up with a feverish excitement. Leo, you're mine now, no one can save you. I didn't need anyone to save me. I expertly untied the ropes on my hands and kicked away the person who came rushing towards me. Right now, all I wanted was to go back, tie myself up, and present myself to Julian, praying he wouldn't be angry, though it was probably impossible for him not to be angry. This time, I probably wouldn't be able to appease him even if my back broke. Chapter 11. Julian and I met in a bizarre, rules-based survival game. To survive, I was exceptionally attentive to the great master Pei, serving him hand and foot, even offering up my own body. Although Julian was as cold as ice, he was incredibly generous to his own people. He saved me from countless deadly situations, and through my own efforts, I discovered the hidden rule of the final game. Only one person could pass the final stage, and so, after a night of tangled passion with Julian, I went to my death the next day without a second thought. To die in a survival game world meant that even one's soul would be corrupted. Julian went insane trying to save me. In the final moments before my soul dissipated, I learned that he was the Lord of the infinite flow. My death had been meaningless, but Julian paid the price for my self-serving sacrifice. After dying in the infinite flow, a soul is randomly scattered across various small worlds, becoming an NPC within them. He traveled from world to world, collecting the fragments of my soul. The other gods all said he had fallen in love with a mere bug. When Julian kicked the door in, I was in the middle of punching Aaron in the face. I turned, saw him, and grinned. Honey, I was wrong. He froze for a second, his eyes turning red as he stared at me. He walked towards me, his voice a low growl. Leo Chen, you'd better truly know you were wrong. Chapter 12. That night, Julian wouldn't let me go, no matter what. As he moved, he listed my transgressions. In the first world, you fell in love with that young general. In the second, you fell for your master. In the third, you said you liked the CEO's abs, and in the fourth, you wanted to spend the rest of your life with that puppy dog boy. I quickly defended myself. I don't like them. I only like you. Julian looked down at me intently. As I was tossed about, I felt something wet fall onto my chest, followed by Julian's voice. Leo, in every world you forget me. I'm so scared. I couldn't help but complain, even through the haze of pleasure. Did he think I'd forgotten everything? In which lifetime had he ever let me off easy? Wasn't I always left unable to get out of bed for days? In the first world, I didn't even know him before he kidnapped me. In the second, third, and fourth, he was my senior brother, my adoptive father, and my best friend. Did he have any idea how terrified I was when he suddenly changed his appearance? But whatever. It was my fault for getting involved with him in the first place. My husband was the Lord of the infinite flow. Killing someone was as easy for him as squashing a bug. The fact that he had restrained himself from killing all those men was already impressive. Leo, what are you thinking about? How do you have the energy to be distracted? It seems I'm still not being forceful enough. Julian's extra. I don't know where I came from. As long as I can remember, I have been traveling through different games, completing my own games of slaughter. It was boring and tedious. A colleague of mine once said that in order to observe and toy with those bugs up close, he had entered a game himself and become an object of their affection. That sounded somewhat interesting. When the rules-based game began, I became a contestant. That was the first time I saw Leo Chen. Among the crowd, he was excessively beautiful. A pretty and clever bug did indeed manage to capture some of my attention. Later, he began to deliberately approach me, flatter me, and even seduce me. To be honest, the games in bed were quite fun. The way he cried was even more beautiful. I didn't want him to die, but even I had to abide by the rules of the game. In the final stage, only one person could survive. I planned to die and then reveal my identity to him. I never expected that he, who had always cherished his life so dearly, would choose to sacrifice himself. It threw me into a panic. I caught the ghost that was devouring him. It was originally a ball of light. It told me that all who died were sent to quick transmigration worlds to become NPCs. I took it hostage, forcing it to become my tool to find Leo. Finally, I found him.